Welcome everyone. In this class, we'll start with a new topic, that is replication of DNA. We have seen that why DNA is considered as that is genetic material, why it is predominant in almost all the living organisms, why RNA is not the predominant one, the structure of DNA, how that is the proofs with the help of the experiments by various scientists that DNA is the only genetic material which is helping in transformation and which is passing. And now we'll move on to another topic, important topic, that is replication of DNA. Replication means making copy, exact copy. To replicate, to make an exact copy, to duplicate. Duplicate in the sense make a copy. So the process of making copy of the DNA is called as DNA replication. The process by which DNA duplicates itself, that is replication. Replication is nothing but, to replicate is nothing but make a exact copy of it. Make an exact copy of DNA. So that is what is replication. Here the DNA is replicated. The structure of DNA was given to us by Watson and Crick. At that time only they suggested, because they postulated, Watson and Crick, they postulated base pairings. Base pairing in the sense purines always pairs with pyrimidine, adenine always pairs with thymine, guanine always pairs with cytosine. So this is the base pairing rule, that is purines always pairs with pyrimidine, adenine in DNA, adenine always pairs with thymine, cytosine always pairs with guanine. Okay, so this is the basic pair, that is base pairing. So with the help of the base pairing, when they postulated those base pairings, when they have that is formulated the base pairings, that the pairings will, that is the bases will pair in this manner. So at that time only they suggested that because of this base pairing, there is a possibility that DNA will be able to show copying mechanism. DNA will be able to show copying mechanism because of the base pairing. How they base pair, there was they suggested that there is a possibility that this DNA, because of this base pairing, it will show a copying mechanism. Copying in the sense exactly making something similar, exactly similar. So because of the pairing, base pairing, the DNA has the capacity to make a copy of its own. So that is what is replication. Replication is nothing but making a copy of its own. Now in this, what happened, we have seen the structure of DNA. We know the structure of DNA. So these strands are made up of sugar and phosphate, and in between this we have this base pairing. Here adenine will be there, so always it pairs with thymine with double bond. If T is there, then G always pairs with C with triple bond. A always pairs with T always pairs with A with double bond. So like this is the structure of DNA. This is the sugar, that is backbone, which is made up of phosphate and sugar. I have already shown you. And these are the bridges which is connecting these two strands. The strand is made up of sugar plus phosphate. This strand is made up of sugar plus phosphate. Both of the strands are joined together with the help of the bridges, that is nothing but these base pairs. Bridges, that is nothing but these base pairs. Okay, so now in this one, this is the DNA. This is the DNA. When this DNA, that is two strands, we said that DNA is double stranded. According to Watson and Crick, DNA is double stranded. So when these double strands, two strands separate, so this is double stranded, this is double stranded. So when these two strands separate, when the two strands separate, and so what happens when they separate, each strand act as the template for the complementary strand. the strand. These two strands have separated now. So this black one is the actual one. So this black one act as template. This black one act as template. This also act as template. So when these two strands separate, both the strands act as template. These two strands were together, joined together with the help of these bridges of base pairings. That is, and now these two strands have been separated. So when these two strands are separated by heating or by another mechanism, when these two strands are separated, so what happens? Both the strands, both the separated strands act as template. So this is one strand, this is another strand. Both of them are separated now. So this will act as template and this will also act as template, or we can even say parent strand, template or parent strand. So this, both the strands act as template strands or parent strands for the new strand. For the synthesis of complementary strand. These two separated strands act as parent or template strand for the synthesis of this new strands or complementary strands. For the synthesis of new and complementary strands. So this will be acting as the template. So this was said by Watson and Crick. This was said by Watson and Crick. Why they said the synthesis of complementary strand? Because of this base pairing. Because of the base pairing. If A is here, then definitely here it will be T. Because base pairings, they follow complementarity. So because of this, when these two strands separate, both the strands act as template for the new complementary strand. So in this way, the DNA is making copy. So here it is making one copy, it is making one copy. So by the end we get two copies. By the end we get two copies. Here it is little open. Slowly this whole strand will be separated and this will act as the template or the parent strand and a new strand will be formed. So from one DNA, two more DNAs will be formed. So it is able to make a copy. It is able to make a copy. There was one, now we will get two DNAs. So a copy of DNA is made. A copy of DNA is made which is complementary. A copy of DNA is made which is complementary. So this is called as semi-conservative model replication. This is called as semi-conservative. What we call this as? Semi-conservative replication. This type is called as semi-conservative replication. So we say that DNA replicates by semi-conservative method. What is semi-conservative? It will be explained. This will be explained with the help of an experiment. But as of now, here according to, that is Watson and Crick's model, the Watson and Crick suggested that there is a base pairing theory, base pairing rule is there and DNA will follow the base pairing rule, and when they follow base pairing rule, it suggests that the DNA will follow a possible copying mechanism. That is, the DNA will be copying itself. The DNA will be able to make a copy of itself. How it is able to make a copy of itself? These two strands of DNA are separated. So when they separate, both the strands act as the template strand for the formation or for the synthesis of the complementary strand. So in this manner, both the strands get separated. So one old strand is there which is acting as the template strand, and one new strand is formed which is complementary. One old strand is there which is acting as the template, and one new strand which is complementary. Here also one old strand is there from this DNA which is template, and one new complementary strand is formed. So this is why it is semi-conservative. Not, that is, it is not the too old DNA strands are forming one. Now that is 2 new strands are making one more DNA. It is not like this. One old and one new. One old and one new. So both this old and new strand is making one that is making one DNA. So that is why it is called as the semi-conservative replication. So this was, that is, we say that DNA replicates by semi-conservative method. DNA replicates, make its own copy by semi-conservative method. That is, it will have one parent strand and one complementary strand. Okay, parent strand is the old one, complementary strand is the new one. So this is the semi-conservative model of replication, and that is the semi-conservative model of replication, that is scientists have proved that DNA replicates by semi-conservative method with the help of an experiment. So the scientists Michelson and Stahl, there were 2 scientists, Michelson and Stahl. They have proved that DNA replicates by semi-conservative method. DNA replicates by semi-conservative method. So we will see how DNA is able to replicate. The whole process of replication we will be seeing. But as of now, first we get to know is DNA replicates by semi-conservative method. So this has been proved by 2 scientists. This have been proved by 2 scientists that DNA replicates by semi-conservative method. What are those 2 scientists? Michelson and Stahl. These 2 scientists, they have proved that DNA replicates by semi-conservative method. So they proved it with an experiment. That experiment is known as Michelson and Stahl experiment. Okay, so for that experiment they have taken E. coli. They have taken E. coli and they have taken nitrogen, that is isotopes of nitrogen. They have taken isotopes, that is one is N14 and another is N15. Just the difference in the mass. This one is N15 is heavier, N14 is a little lighter. So these are this N14 and N15. These are the isotopes of nitrogen. For this Michelson and Stahl experiment, we said now Michelson and Stahl, they proved that DNA replicates through conservative method. So how they proved it? With the help of the experiment. So to do experiment, what we require is, what they have taken was E. coli. They have taken E. coli. E. coli plus they have taken different isotopes of nitrogen. They have taken different isotopes of nitrogen. One was N14 and one was N15. N14 is more abundant. N14 is more abundant isotope of nitrogen and N15 is less available. N15 is less abundant. It is less available. It is easily available. More available it is. Availability is more. So these are the 2 isotopes of nitrogen. These 2 isotopes of nitrogen along with E. coli. So and one more thing. These are the isotopes of nitrogen. They are not radioactive. These isotopes are not radioactive. These are just the isotopes of nitrogen which are non-radioactive. They don't show, these isotopes does not show any radioactivity. Okay, and few more things. We know that nitrogen is the major constituent of DNA. The major constituent of DNA is nitrogen. We said now nitrogen base pairs, it has nitrogen as the major constituent, because for DNA we require sugar, phosphate and nitrogenous base. These 3 things make the DNA. One is phosphate, another is sugar and the third is nitrogenous base. So DNA has nitrogen. DNA, that is nitrogen is the major constituent of DNA. In DNA we find nitrogen. in large amount. So N, if we replace this nitrogen which is present in the DNA, normal nitrogen, okay, if we replace this common normal nitrogen with this isotopes N14, that is N15, so there will be slight changes in the DNA will show the changes. If normal nitrogen is replaced with this N15 heavier nitrogen, so the DNA will show changes. In the DNA also changes will be seen, and other things which has nitrogen as the major that is nitrogen as one of the constituent, they will also show changes, because normal nitrogen has been replaced by this heavy nitrogen. Normal nitrogen has been replaced by another that is normal nitrogen is replaced by heavy nitrogen. We said that if nitrogen is replaced, for example, earlier it was normal nitrogen, elemental, okay, now it is replaced by N15. It is replaced by another isotope, that is heavier nitrogen, so N15. So what happens in this one? This is a cell with normal that is DNA was there inside the cell with normal nitrogen, that is the DNA was having normal nitrogen. Now in this also, in this the cell is there, the cell is there, DNA is there, inside the cell DNA is there, but instead of if it is a normal nitrogen, the DNA will also have the normal nitrogen. But if the normal nitrogen is replaced by N15, then the DNA, that is the nitrogen will in the DNA will also be replaced by N15. If DNA was having normal nitrogen previously, then it will be normal only. But if we add, to the cell, if we grow the cell instead of this normal nitrogen, if we give the cell this heavy nitrogen instead of giving the normal nitrogen, if we grow the cell, bacterial cell, in the N15 nitrogen, that is heavier nitrogen, so what will happen? The DNA of the cell will also have N15 nitrogen. The normal DNA will be replaced by this N15. So if there is change in the nitrogen, then the DNA will also show change. If the nitrogen is normal, then the DNA will also be normal. But if nitrogen is heavier, if we have grown, that is if we have put that heavy nitrogen onto the cell inside in the growing cell, bacterial cell, now the cell will also take this heavier nitrogen and the DNA will have the heavier nitrogen. It will be the DNA, normal DNA will be replaced by, that is normal nitrogen of the DNA will be replaced by the heavier nitrogen. So, and when compared to this N14 and N15, both of them are isotopes of nitrogen only, but N15 is the heavier one. N15 is the heavier than N14 isotope. N15 is heavier than N14 isotope. In comparison between these two, this is heavier and this is lighter. How can we say that this is heavier and this is lighter? We can say which one is, when we take two isotopes now, when we take two isotopes, we can say which one is heavier and which one is lighter, because isotopes, they are of the same element. They are of the same element. So different isotopes, how it is different? We can say by the centrifugation method, by the process of centrifugation. When we perform the process of centrifugation on this one, centrifugation means something we take this nitrogen will be taking in some container and that will be spin with a high speed. When we spin these isotopes in a blender with a high speed, not blender, when we spin it on something with a high speed, what happens is, after that is the heavy particles will settle closer. The heavy particles will settle closer and the light particles move farther. For example, if here it is a machine, so here centrifugation is taking place. Centrifugation is taking place. So if particles were here, what happens when we spin it with a high speed now? So this light, that is heavy particles, what we say, heavy particles settle closer. Heavy particles settle closer and light particles move farther. Light particles move farther. So when we say all the heavy particles come at this place and accumulate, all the light particles come afar and that is come at this place and accumulate. So now we can say that if it is near here, then we say that this is heavy. If it is farther towards periphery, then we say this is lighter one. So by the process of centrifugation, we can say whether that is which of the isotope is lighter and which of the isotope is that is heavier. So for Michelson and Stahl experiment, we require E. coli and these two isotopes of nitrogen. And always remember, nitrogen is the constituent of DNA. If nitrogen is replaced, then the DNA will also show changes. If nitrogen is not replaced, no change in the DNA. If nitrogen is replaced with another isotope, then the DNA will also show the changes. And when compared to N14 and N15, N15 is the heavier nitrogen and N14 is the lighter nitrogen. How can we say which one is lighter and which one is heavier? By performing the process of centrifugation. So till now, what main things which were required for the experiment I have explained you. Next, we will see the explanation in detail, how the experiment is performed, what are the results and how it proved that, how this experiment proved that the replication of DNA is by semi-conservative method.